I woke up in a hospital 2 days later out of a coma being told that what had happened to me. I had a heart attack and went into cardiac arrest. I was embarrassed because of what I do for a living.
Okay, so I could sit here and talk all day with Bob Harper. You know him from The Biggest Loser, now airing on the USA Network.
Go! I realized that strength isn't about being the toughest. Good job. Strength is reaching inside to be the best you that you can be. I was on Biggest Loser for 17 seasons. Like I did every single season of it. And then all of a sudden when I heard about the reboot on USA, I was really excited about it because, you know, it's a different approach. And like I was just shooting in Santa Fe for the past 3 months, which was so beautiful. And what we did was we took really the essence of that show and just really brought forth the stories. And it's just like, it's all about hope. And we have these 2 new trainers that are fantastic. There's one trainer that we have, her name is Erica. She lost like over 160 pounds. You know, she's fit and she's passionate, and you know, I loved working with her.
That makes me so happy to hear that. So now I heard that there's a little bit more focus on it being more holistic and when it comes to mental wellness, which is, you know, a different aspect than what we're used to seeing.
Absolutely. I mean, what we try to do is, again, bring the stories out, but like I do these support groups every week, and you're going to see it, and people have been really responding, where we just all get together, and it's not about a team dynamic. It's just an individual really going through their struggles, talking about it. I think there's really power in words, and when you can like get what you're feeling here out, you can not only help yourself, but you can help the people around you, and that's what we really created. And that has become a very focal point of what the show is about this season.
I think we forget to do those things.
Yeah,
because we're so focused on physical.
Right. It's like it becomes so much about the physical for people, right? And what we really try to do is just go, it's so much more than that. We really want to take care of the people, not only while they're on the show, but the aftercare. Like when it's time for them to go home, we want to set them up with a gym membership and a nutritionist, and we want to give them all the advantages. But at the end of the day, you have to remember, it's what you put into your life. You really want to make a lifestyle change, you have to really put forth a lot of effort. And I think that when diets fail a lot of times, it's because, you know, it gets hard, it gets really hard. It's like people have to realize if you're struggling with your weight, you're going to be struggling with it for the rest of your life, and you find a way to manage it, and you find ways that like you can still be inspired about the way that you're eating, and like you keep yourself around like-minded people. It's like it's doing all those kind of things, and we really address all that on the show this season,
which I am looking forward to, because I think that's important, because it really is a lifestyle change.
Absolutely. It's not just about losing weight. You know, it's like I've always said, losing weight is the easiest part. You want to lose 10 pounds, 200 pounds, you're going to be able to do that because you're making all these changes. But are you going to be able to sustain it? Are you going to be able to keep it off? And what can you do to really stack the deck in your favor as much as you possibly can?
What would you say are your top 3 tips for someone who is trying to lose weight and they just seem to, I don't know, it's a little bit of a struggle. Like, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds, but I feel like I'm at the plateau, and it's like, oh gosh, what do I have to do? I have to change everything?
Yeah, well, those 10 pounds are like
miserable.
Yeah, when you're down to those 10 pounds, that's that vanity weight. You know, that's where you're just like this. I know I look good, but I bet I could look better if I was 10 pounds lighter.
How do we get to the better point?
Know, like, I think I would really approach it in a different way of like, you know what? How do you feel? Do you feel good? You know, are you healthy from the inside out? Like, what is it that's really driving you for those 10 pounds? I just think that, you know, you just have to make an assessment of what you can live with. We're not going to look like, you know, all the people that are, you know, on the magazine covers. And if you can just be good with where you are, you know, I think that you're going to be ahead of the game. Then with that said, it's a, you ask about my tips. It's like, I really am a big believer in macro counting. It's like you've got to look at the foods that you're eating. Try not to eliminate one major food groups. Like people get so afraid of eating carbs. It's like you don't have to be afraid of eating carbs. You find a way to like balance, have a good balance of protein, fat, and carbs. Whenever you eat more whole food. That's another big tip I tell people. Try to stay away from all the processed stuff. If you can stay away from the processed stuff and eat things that, you know, have been as little touched by, you know, the big corporations, then you're going to be ahead of the game right there.
Knowing your body type and you know, finding ways to achieve your goals without changing your whole existence.
Exactly, and having those realistic goals.
Right.
It's like, you know, if you know what your body type is, you do the best you can with what you have, and you
Right.
don't try to like strive for something that is so unattainable. Because if for whatever reason you are able to get yourself to that place, like, you know, having to just do so many, like so much restriction.
That's stressful.
It's so stressful. And it's like, you know what? I feel good.
Right, and
You
I
know,
think that's the thing, feeling good.
feeling good and just being like being the best you that you can possibly be. And I know that sounds like a Hallmark movie when I say
know,
that, but it's what I believe in.
Was there a time when you did not believe that, where you were trying to achieve things that you felt like, you know, that?
I know, yes, I'll tell you what, working in front of a camera is not a
Yes.
normal thing. I don't think that people really get it unless
Yeah.
you do this job.
Right.
It's like to see yourself all the time, like it used to kind of like get to me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's what I look like right now.
Oh my God, my voice.
Like,
I hate
my,
this.
my voice. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this and go, my voice is so annoying.
How I look, I'm not sucking it in, hold it together. You're just like so much.
All that. It's like it's really it takes
Obsessive.
It takes a certain breed. You know, we are a certain breed.
Yes.
To be able to do this.
Yes, absolutely, because it's just you're critiquing yourself nonstop.
Yes, and when I finally, because you know, I had a heart attack a couple of years ago, and it completely changed my life forever. And it's like getting to that point of just being like, you know what, I can't stress about these things. I can't stress about, you know, the cab ride that is just taking me an hour to get uptown or whatever. Like
Right.
the silliest thing that's like, who cares?
Right.
It's like you get to that point, and that's where I've gotten to since my health scare of just like being able to say, who cares?
Let it go.
It's all gonna work out. No matter how bad it can feel or be, you know what? It's going to work out.
Just hearing heart attack is terrifying. What are some warning signs people could look out for?
One thing that I learned was, because when I had my heart attack, and not only did I have a heart attack, but I went into cardiac arrest.
Oh
which,
my
You know, which
gosh.
was like terrifying. But I used to think that a person that had a heart attack looked a certain way, right? They smoked, they were overweight, you know, it was all these kind of like red flags. What I've learned now, because I've become this advocate for heart attack survivors, I go around the country, I talk to heart attack survivors all the time, but we're all at risk. And you have to really know what your health looks like from the inside out. Because people were like, you were the picture of health. And I thought I was, but you know, I didn't realize that I had a genetic issue. And it's like, you know, you have to really, and this sounds like a PSA, but like you have to really have a doctor that you can like, you know, confide in and that really knows you and like can like guide you.
Right.
And it's like information is power, especially when it comes to, you know, your body and your health.
Right.
I woke up in a hospital 2 days later out of a coma being told that what had happened to me. I had a heart attack and went into cardiac arrest. And when I was told that, it didn't make sense. I was looking around going, are you talking to me?
Right.
Like a heart attack? And one feeling that I had from that was a feeling of embarrassment. Like I was, one of my doctors was trying to get me to talk to my heart and do these things because I went through a very emotional, it was a very emotional struggle. People think about the physical, but the emotional part of it, and was, you know, I really had to come to grips with me feeling like, why did this happen to me? And I was embarrassed because of what I do for a living. So,
And that adds more stress, and you gotta let it go.
gotta let it go.
And here you are thriving so much. I feel like your journey has been so inspiring. I mean, everyone had a chance to see you live your truth when you decided to come out, and that was just such a moment. What made you want to do that? And
The funny thing about this is like I have been out since I was like 14 years old. I was living in Tennessee on a farm, and back then, you know. But like I really had to like I made this decision with myself. I was like, you know what? I got to make sure that I've got my own back because I don't know who else will. And so I had to be really good with who I was. So now, cut to years and years later, I'm working on this television show, The Biggest Loser, and people were really coming to me going like, you know, you don't talk about the fact that you're gay, and I never really talked about it because it was just kind of who I was.
Right.
So I found that one day I was back in the closet and I didn't even realize it. I'm like this, how did
this happen?
How am I back in the closet right now? And so we had a contestant on the show that was really struggling with being gay, and he really touched me, and I really thought, you know what? I'm gonna tell him about my struggle. And so it became this moment, like, you know, the producer's like, you wanna talk about this? And I remember thinking, yeah, I wanna talk about it. It'll be great, it'll be fine. But as I was sitting there, as I'm sitting with you, with the cameras all on me, I was like, I'm about to just say it, and okay, it's like whatever. But you know, I was really glad that I did, because it really seemed to help. It helped a lot of people.
Absolutely. And it's freeing, and I feel like, you know, seeing you do that and just live your truth means so much. And how was it for you when you were growing up? Like, was your family receptive to this? For someone who's having a hard time right now, they don't know how to navigate this space.
I'll tell you, again, it had to come from a lot of, it became a lot of self-worth that I had to like try to discover, right? Because I didn't have a lot of support out there. And there's one phrase that you hear all the time in our community. It's like, it gets better. And it's like, I love hearing that, because you have to realize, as tough as things get, it will get better. And it's like those kids that are struggling right now, that feel like they are alone and they don't have anyone in their corner. All I want to be able to say to them is like, one day you're going to be in a car with your best friends going to Las Vegas, or like have this crazy moment. You're going to be seeing, you know, whoever Mariah Carey is going to be in the, you know.
Oh my God, she's the best.
Yeah, she's the best. I love her. But like, you're going to, like, it's going to be okay. And it just like, it breaks my heart when I hear about these kids that are going through so much struggle and being bullied, and just like, you know, you just want to like, I just want to grab them all and just like hug them and say, it's gonna get better. It will, like, and you're just gonna have the best life that you can possibly have if you can just get through this. Because I had to go through it, and it's not anything that you wish upon anyone, but I don't know, it's like, I'm so glad that I'm around.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm around for it all.
Well, thank you for inspiring so many people, inspiring all of us, and, you know, not just on a physical level of trying to get in shape, but just emotionally, mentally, and, you know, spiritually, being who you are and living your truth at whatever cost that may be. But, you know, it's really inspirational.
That means a lot to me, and I love sitting and talking with you. You are you're fantastic, and like you have that ability to just like make people just so comfortable. It's like, I mean, what am I going to say to her next?
Because I'm so curious about people, and
it shows. I like that.
I think people have such different journeys, and I think if we shared each other's journeys more, I think this world honestly could be a better place. I know it sounds cliche.
No,
but
it doesn't.
Just hearing your journey and hearing it from you is so important. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Love that amazing interview. And I want to hear from you. Like, comment, and subscribe to the Stoop channel so that you never miss out on the latest celebrity interviews.